phenomenal concept that I've never heard before.
1,000 points a day. A call is a point, a presentation is 100. And this is something I think is super important, why agents make it or maybe they don't. So when I went full-time, 1,000 dials and 10 people picked up. 6 kind of let me talk. 5 let me present. 3 picked an option. Only 1 gave me banking. So what I realized really quick is it's a numbers game. You have to put in activity. When you're feeling like you're in a slump or things aren't going good, go back to activity. 500 dials, 5 presentations, or 600 dials and 4 presentations. Any combination to equal 1,000. And if you do that every single day, rain or shine, whether you want to or you not, you feel like it or not, you have money in your bank or not, you're going to build momentum to become successful.
Hi, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the American Agency. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson. Welcome to the American Agency Call. I'm so excited to have Mary Kraft on with us today, joining us from her new, beautiful, gigantic office that she works with Nicolette and Jay in Scottsdale, Arizona, 65,000 square feet. I Googled it, Mary. Do you know that the size of a football field is 59,000 square feet? Literally, the office you are in is bigger than a football field. So congratulations to Jay and the whole Nonstop team, as well as yourself. But let's talk about you for a second. Chatting with you, and you're telling me you got babies, you had this doubts, this business, and here you are as a budding producer and soon to be massive agency manager, writing $40,000, $50,000 per month on this business. And that's what's so exciting, is to take someone whom did not plan on this. This wasn't in your life plan. Like you were content, your husband's doing well. But now you see an opportunity to go, I'm destined for more and I'm excited about it. And I just, talking to you for a minute and Nicolette sings your praises. I'm just so excited to have you on here because there's so many people that are in your shoes. They're terrified of taking a leap of faith. Terrified. They got kids, they got jobs, they got careers, they got other businesses. They can't believe the money that could be made here. Heck, none of us believe it, right? We pinch ourselves when we wake up on every Tuesday morning when those American deposits hit, right? So without further ado, I'm so excited to have you on. Long time coming. Yeah. But without further ado, welcome to the call. And how are you doing today?
I'm great. I know you said I'm here in Arizona right now, and this office is insane. I love getting to work in person, but I live in Illinois now. So I bought back and forth quite a bit. So happy to be here. I love being here in the sunshine. Was doing content, all day today. So I'm just fired up. I'm super excited to be here and kind of talk to sales specifically, how I got started, where I came from, what I did along the way, and how I, do close at a high level very efficiently with a full schedule between personal obligations and being a mom. I came into this business. I loved my job. I worked in a med spa and I love all girly things and I loved it, but I realized every career has a cap. You can't be a grocery clerk making $300,000. You can't be a med spa manager making $500,000 a year. Like, careers just have caps and it's nobody's fault. It's just like a fact of life. And I felt suffocated. I felt capped. I mean, I came from a great salary. On paper, $80,000, is a lot of money. I was young. I'm only 30. So 8 years ago at 22, you go through college, which I went to Arizona State, and people say you're going to get this job. It's going to pay 60 grand, 70 grand, 100 grand, right? And you hear these big numbers and you think that that's it. So I got it. I went and I got it and I was like, this is amazing. But what they don't tell you is the cost of life. Like, yeah, that's great, but now throw in 2 kids and a husband and a dog and daycare and bills and groceries and rent and 80,000 and him making, that or more. We were breaking even. I mean, I was broke and I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? I'm capped. I'm building this business for someone else. I work really hard, but I'm not making any more. And I understand she's a business owner. She wants to make money, but I'm capped. What am I going to do? So that's kind of how I started looking into sales. Nicolette actually, was a friend of mine's stepsister. So she'd come into the med spa all these years ago and she'd spend money. Okay. She was buying products, services, thousands of dollars, didn't care. And I was like, what is she doing? What does she do? I want to do that. I couldn't even afford a service at cost, what like the discounted rate was. So I found her and I reached out to her and we booked a call. And I remember I took a lunch break. I was sitting in the parking lot in my car and I was intense. I was like, who's your top producer? What do they make? Is this ethical? Show me your bank account. Is this legit? So I've got a family, right? I have a good job and I've got a family. This got to be legit. She was like, okay. And she was like, well, they make this and here's this. And I was like, I'm in. I'm in. So I went and got my license October, and then I was licensed and I was doing it part-time, full-time. So I got my license in October, November, December, I was part-time. But for anybody in this business, maybe you're part-time right now, or you want to get into it and you're thinking, can I be part-time? Can I hold a job and a salary and come into this part-time? And there's a lot of things I wish I would have done sooner or changed. And that's one of them. I didn't make any money part-time. I made probably no money.
Ballpark. What were you issuing?
What was I issuing? $4,000 or $5,000 a month IP.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was spending on leads, so I was like breaking even. Maybe I made a couple $100. I wasn't really doing anything and I was killing myself. Like if you're part-time, be ready to like work 2 full-time jobs. Like part-time in this business is 2 full-time jobs. So I'd work 8:30 to 5:30. And then I'd dial 5:30 to 10:30. I'd buy a Hawaii license and we'd sit on Zoom or in the office and we would dial, at 5 hours a day, every day, and then 8 and 9 hours on Saturday and Sunday. And I didn't make any money. And then I go to convention in January. I see people getting awards, all these different stories. I'm fired up. I'm writing IULs and annuities and that's it. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I hadn't hardly even sold life insurance. And I get back and, long story short, I was a ding dong. I was young, dumb, didn't communicate things correctly with my boss. She finds out it's this big problem, which I get it. And heated words were exchanged and I quit. That day we were going back and forth saying some things and, we moved past it, but I was like, I can't come back to work for you. This was like February 22nd. Okay. My rent was due on March 1st. We were renting. My rent was due on March 1st. And I was like, holy shoot, and I called Nicolette and I said, I think I'm full time now. I think I have to do this full time. We're really doing it. So I got forced to go full time. And 2 years later, being in this business, 2 years later, it was the biggest blessing of my life because I never would have been ready. I never would have been ready to go full time. I wasn't making money. I didn't have savings. I had nothing but like a crazy belief in myself. And so when I went full time, it was really pedal to the metal. And this is something I think is super important, on like why agents make it or maybe they don't. I always got told 1,000 points or, we're going to work 10 to 15 hours a day because you need activity. And Nicolette was like, so I kept telling her, you're not going to let me fail, right? You're not going to let me go broke. You're not going to let me like not pay rent, right? And she's like, Mary, I can make money in this business. You follow what I say, I'm going to help you make money in this business. This is what we got to do. We got to dial. So I went to work 10 to 15 hours a day, 1,000 points a day. And then I think that's so important for people to understand in this business is you've got to put in the dials. It's an activities thing. And these new inbound leads are amazing. And I'm going to actually run them myself, but that wasn't a thing. Like you had a dial, I could only afford $1 leads. So I bought as many as I could. And I sat there and I dialed 1,000 points, 1,000 dials. And, maybe 10 people picked up. And out of those 10 people that picked up, 6 kind of let me talk. The other 4 hung up. Now, out of the 6 people that let me talk, 5 let me present. Out of the 5 that let me present, 3 picked an option. Out of the 3 I got into an application with, only 1 gave me banking. So what I realized really quick is it's a numbers game. For anybody in this business, sales is a numbers game. So you have to put in activity. When you're feeling like you're in a slump or things aren't going good, go back to activity. 1,000 points a day. A call is a point. A presentation is 100. So is close. So like, 500 dials, 5 presentations, or 600 dials and 4 presentations. Any combination to equal 1,000. And if you do that every single day, rain or shine, whether you want to or you not, you feel like it or not, you have money in your bank or not, you're going to build momentum to become successful. And that's what I saw because I started February 22nd. I did not make my rent payment. I called my mom and borrowed money. I took out a personal loan. But I was like committed to doing this. And then March was my first full-time month, like producing. And then April, I IP'd over $40,000. So I don't think it's like a coincidence. You know what I mean? I think going through the basics, dialing the phone, putting in the activity on any kind of lead is really what's going to help you build that skill set to continue when you're starting.
Hey there, Grady jumping in real quick. Recently, we came out with this insurance sales guide. Fantastic resource. People are loving it. Over 100 pages of insight into the business, from product knowledge to leads to full-blown scripts, presentation, referrals, and over 30 plus different objections written out word for word on how to overcome them. Just trying to help people out there in the industry, help yourself. If it's something you're looking for some more tools and resources, click the link below and we'll send it right out to you. So first off, Mary, you're a rock star. So that was a fantastic breakdown open, and holy cow, I am so excited to see where you go in this business already. But let's just break down a little bit here for a second. So you got introduced going in October, right? Nicolette, who I love, did a phenomenal job of showing the business and being someone who's attractive, that could attract someone like you, who's a driven young woman who's looking for someone who's strong and confident, right? That's part of leadership, is exuding not just the lifestyle, but the qualities at which someone wants to mirror and be around. So cheers to Nicolette. Yeah. But there's value in that October through February timeline, right? Throughout that period of time, you were on calls, you were around the business, you'd seen success. Your belief was so freaking high because although you hadn't been selling much, you're like, you see, you see 2,000 people write over $10,000 in our company. Or what was the number? I apologize. So last month we did 72 million and 6,700 people were issued a policy. So that means FFL's average agent makes over $10,000 a month. Average. Now some make 100, 200, some make $100, right? But the average is significantly higher.
Yeah.
So you saw it. And so that gave you that confidence come February 22nd. Go, I just need more time at this thing. If I could dial from 8:30 to 5:30 instead of being at the med spa, what could I do?
Yeah.
And so so anyone that's out there that you haven't quit your thing or given or just gone all in, don't begrudge the time you're on this call or you've listened to trainings. Because for me, being honest, I got started with Andrew about 6 months before I went full time in, and I was listening to calls. I was on calls with the leadership. I was listening to Sean go bananas on calls back in 2017 and going, okay, like this is the thing. And that time gave me the confidence to walk away from my software company and all that shit. So yeah. I love that you had that experience because you have this story to tell that people that are here, like, let's just collect up and be good shepherds for people and go, you don't have to burn the bridges today. Like, but there's a future where you're going to have to walk away from the thing that you're a part of. So that's awesome. Mm-hmm. 2, 1,000 points a day is a phenomenal concept that I've never heard before. 1 point is a presentation's 100 and then a close is 100. So if you close, you get 2 points, 200 points.
Yeah.
So 1,000 points a day. So why don't you just close 5 clients and you get your 1,000 points? So where'd you learn that? Where'd that come from?
Nicolette, everything. I am so grateful for her. She knows this. From her, because I mean, I was in a panic, and you're right. Like in part-time, it wasn't for nothing. Like I was getting comfortable. I was learning the script. I was getting familiar going through applications, like all the things you need to be successful. I did. There was so much value in that period, but everything I know, it's from her. I mean, that 1,000 points came straight from her because I still was panicked going full time because I didn't have the proof of making a lot of money. So she said, you're going to be great. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do 1,000 points because if you're putting in that kind of work, it's literally not possible. Like Andrew Taylor says, like I've heard him say a million times, like he sucked. He wasn't the best salesman. He just worked the hardest. He dialed the most. He put in the most time. So I'm going to guess that's kind of where that came from, but it works. It 100% works. So I love to say that for anybody new, that really should be the guideline we're going off of. And if you're not making money, we need to look at that activity.